Today we are talking about prepping in poverty. Please subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we put up new videos. Hello, I am Tara, the author of the Dining on a Dime cookbook, where you can eat better, spend less. We have a new hardcover with full color pictures and over 1,200 recipes and tips to help you save money on your grocery bill. Check it out at livingonadime.com. Hello guys, I am Tara, and if you guys have seen many of our videos, you've probably seen one of our Penny Pinching Mamas series where my mom talks about raising 2 teenagers on $500 a month after we became sick and disabled. I want to talk to you about prepping in poverty. Now, if you are living in poverty, everything is not going to be comfortable, okay? So first of all, you're just going to have to accept that some things are going to be uncomfortable, but that you will make it through and it's going to be okay. Now, what I would do first is make sure you get your food stocked up. Every time you go to the grocery store, make sure you pick up at least 1 or 2 extra cans of food when you go to the grocery store. You don't have to go and spend $500 stocking up food. Just start making sure every time you go to the grocery store, you can stock up on an extra can of food. Now, if you are using a food pantry, you're living on Social Security, or you're elderly and you're living on a really low income, and we're talking a low income, and you need assistance from a food bank, food banks are very, very generous, and they give you a lot of food. Now, if there's some canned goods or something in there that you don't normally eat, do not get rid of them, because if there is a true emergency and if you just need food to sustain life, you will have it. You may not like kidney beans, but if you were truly hungry, you could eat kidney beans to get by and keep you going. So I would not get rid of any food unless you're deathly allergic to it or something like that. I would use what you can, and then the foods that you don't eat, I would store those in your stockpile so that at least you have something. But make sure you start getting your stockpile built up, and you can do it. I lived on $300 a month. My mom lived on $750 a month. Both of us were able to get a stockpile of food, even living on those tiny incomes, and we did it without food stamps. Next, if you are on food stamps, don't waste your food stamp money on things that are frivolous. Make sure you use it to get the most nutrient-dense food that you can. Get the canned tuna, get the canned chicken. Get those types of things to stock up instead of wasting it on jelly candies and pies and cakes, those kinds of things. Get the most nutrient-dense food that you can with those food stamps. Next, blankets. Make sure you have plenty of blankets to keep warm in case the power or heat goes out. Now, this is where you can't get persnickety. Go to garage sales, go to thrift stores, wash and dry those blankets. I've never had an issue with that, but you need to make sure that you have enough blankets on hand to keep warm. How many? I would say no less than 5 or 6 blankets per person. I know that's a lot, but guys, if the power goes out and you're stuck in your house, you are going to need to stay warm. If you have a sleeping bag, I would say maybe a sleeping bag and 2 to 3 blankets would be okay. But you need to make sure that you stay warm. Get yourself some flannel underwear or some long johns, something like that that you can put on under your clothes to keep you warm also. Wool socks, anything like that. I've seen all of these at the thrift store and garage sales. So you're easily able to find them at these places, and you can't be picky, but you get what you need to keep yourself warm and safe. Window plastic. Now, I would get plastic to put around your windows so that you can keep the drafts out of your house. Now, If you can afford it, I would get painter's tape so that it doesn't rip the paint off the walls if you have to put it on the paint on the outside. But most plastic you can put on the window seal and you should be fine. I grew up every winter for 20 years, 25 years, because I did it when I moved out of my mom's house and I was having to live on $300 a month. Every fall, we put up plastic around our windows. And every winter, you would see the plastic bulging in and out from the wind coming through, but it didn't get into the house, and it kept our house extra warm by putting plastic around the windows and the doors that you don't use. Jugs for water. Guys, if you have vinegar jugs, if you have syrup jugs, if you just have water jugs, anything like that, use jugs to store water. You really need to get a water storage built up. If you have friends or family who buy soda, because if you're living in poverty, you're not buying soda, right? If you have friends or family who get 2-liter soda jugs or 2-liter soda bottles, ask them to save those for you and refill them with water so that you can have some water on hand. Next, if possible, get a wood stove or use the wood stove that you have. That will keep you warm in the winter. That is what kept my family warm when we were growing up. We blocked off 3 rooms of the house and Mom just heated that with wood, and that's all we had for heat. A wood stove is great. A lot of times you can find them free because people just don't want them anymore. Keep your eye out. Let friends and family know you're looking for a wood stove. And what do you do for wood? You say, well, I can't afford to buy wood. We never, ever bought wood. Mom would go to the sawmill and get the extra ends and pieces, and we would do that. We had a skill saw that we cut up pallets. We had an axe that we cut up larger chunks of logs that we just, if they were cutting down logs or if they were cutting down trees in our neighborhood, we would ask the tree trimmers to give us the logs instead of grinding them up, and they would. You can get creative. You can ask friends, family, if they have trees on their property that they want to get rid of. Can you go and cut those up? Or trade something for someone. Can you bake some meals for a guy who does cut wood and exchange meals for wood? Just get creative, but you can figure out a way to get wood for free pretty much all the time. We've never bought wood, and you can get it free almost anywhere. Do things like hang your laundry. You may not be able to use your dryer. Use your washer, but hang your laundry in the house so that you're not spending money on electricity for the dryer when you can use it to be powering the lights in your house. Don't waste money on electricity for leaving lights on, running the dryer, turn your water heater down if it's electric. All those types of things save money so that you can spend your money on necessities instead of wasting things for like drying your clothes. You can hang all your shirts and pants on hangers and put them on the shower rack. You can get a drying rack. I've seen them at thrift stores all the time. Drying racks to hang the socks and underwear, those types of things over the drying rack. It's really easy to hang clothes in the house. Takes a day or two for them to dry depending on how humid your climate is, but it can save money in the long run. Next, you want to close off the rooms in your house. If it gets really cold, even when we still had power, we closed off all the rooms except for the kitchen, our little family room, our kitchen, and one small tiny bedroom. We only used those 3 rooms in the winter, and the whole other 2,000 square feet of our house was closed off and not heated during the winter. Now, we kept it above freezing, but just so the pipes wouldn't freeze. But there was ice on the inside of the windows growing up in the part of the house that was closed off. So close off your house so that you can heat one little area and you don't have to have the expense of heating the entire thing. We're talking survival here, guys. Keep it warm enough so your pipes don't freeze, but it doesn't have to be 78 degrees. It can be 45 or 50 degrees in there. Keep your water just dripping maybe. The expense is like 5 cents for 2 days, where I figured it out one time. And if you leave your faucet dripping, it's like 5 cents for 2 days worth of a dripping faucet. So it's really a whole lot cheaper to leave your faucets dripping than it is to heat parts of the house that you're not using. I hope that gives you some tips on how to save money and prep in poverty. Now I'm going to show you our deals and meals for the day. This little Christmas tree at the thrift store when we were in Wyoming. It was just $6. Went to Kohl's, looked at the tag, and I think $29, something like that. I couldn't believe it. Had Mike get that for me for an early Christmas present. I just love these little lights. This one is battery powered and not the electric one, but just love this little guy. So that's our thrift store deal for the day. Now on to our meal for the day. Is it deliciousness in a taco shell? In a fajita shell?
Yes, definitely.
Thank you guys. If you have any questions or comments about prepping in poverty, please leave them in the description below. Visit us at livingonadime.com and we will see you guys next time.